How you doing, gang? So today, put together a quick one for my phone for you. Didn't break out all the GoPro. We're trying to get as much done out here in the 105 degree heat. But let me go ahead and show you what we're working on today. So what we're building, as you can see, PEX, a lot of fittings on the ground. We're building the irrigation system for the actual fields. Now, each lane is about 100 feet long. We've got 100-foot soaker hose already out there in two 50-foot sections each. Just because we didn't buy the 100-footers on accident. So basically what came down to was, how do we feed the water to the field? Now, there is a lot of ways that I've seen people set up their fields, set up irrigation, and custom build what they're doing, getting water on their crop. For us, we're building such a small area that in Mark and my method of madness, we're over engineering usually. So first thing we're trying is a PEX manifold, basically running 8 lanes, so 800 feet total of soaker hose, 100 foot each lane. So I'm building 2 8-lane manifolds that'll run off of its own zone timers, switching the water at a certain time of the day, every however often we set it. For now, I've already got the first one built, but I'm going to kind of give you an overview of how I'm putting this together. I didn't see anything about anybody using PEX, in any videos or anything that I could find. So go ahead and make the video, and if it helps somebody out. The biggest caveat before I begin explaining this is not the cheapest route. Total, Mark had gotten, I believe it was close to $300 in just soaker hose. I'm sitting at about $550 to almost $600 with one mess up in parts for PEX alone. So the market is not cheap and not ripe for buying PEX fittings and all that kind of stuff right now. It is not the time to try and build a PEX manifold, but in the future, this might be a lot more longer lasting than most of the options that I've seen out there. One of the things that are going to be trying on the other side of the fields, so this is going to be on the vegetable side, and on the corn side, I'm going to try using flat drip tape. That's about $70 for a 500-foot roll. So we'll be able to do $150. We'll have irrigation running on 150-foot lanes on that field. So it'll probably be about $200 of actual drip line on that side. Now, that flat drip tape comes with, it's $20 for a pack of 20 on end blocks and $20 for a pack of 20 on connectors. And then after that, it's poly tubing. That one looks at about $400 for a setup on 18 lanes, so almost 2,000 feet. So we'll go ahead and show you what we're doing here, and whether you decide to go a different route or not, it's up to you. I'm just going to show you what we're doing just for the hell of it and testing it out. So far, I can say we've put this system together. In theory, my water is running about 9.5 gallons per minute of flow. We got 250 feet of 5/8 hose running from the house down to the field, and then it goes into the manifold straight into, well, the manifold's 1/2 inch. Let me throw that out there. And then it goes into 1/4 inch soaker hose, so with restrictor plates. So it's restricted to 20 psi. I think we might be maintaining almost that at the end of the hose by the time it gets to the field, but we're losing probably a lot of pressure getting down there. So what are we doing? If you can imagine, 8 lanes is probably about 25 to 30 feet. So we're running one line of PEX straight down that way. Just imagine that's the field. That's the way, rows are going that way, okay? This is the soaker hose. I've already measured out the lanes. And then we've got the fittings that we're making over here. All right, so you've got the PEX tubing, obviously. I've already pre-marked it with the lengths of the lanes themselves. Mark's pulling out on the tractor. Each leg is going to have a PEX teeth. I'm using crimp, not expansion or shark bite. The PEX tee goes into a 5/8 to 1 inch reducer. I'm using it in reverse. So we're going from the 1/2 inch hose or 1/2 inch PEX to a 5/8 hose line. Now, because this is a garden hose fitting, it is too big for a standard PEX. But as you can see over there, there's my Ryobi heat gun. PEX B, you can, for this application, you can heat it up enough to get it a little bit malleable and then shove that garden hose fitting into the PEX. I put a hose clamp on it just for safe sake. Probably not needed because I'm expanding it. It's already going to reduce, but just for the sake of longevity, I put the hose clamps on there. So that's it. From there, you can see I've got this garden hose cut up right here. I'm putting 1 foot to 2 foot lengths up onto that end, and that goes into the soaker hose. Each one of these pieces will get a garden hose male end, which will go into the female end of the soaker hose. Now, like I said, that is not the cheap option. Compared to most other options that I've read and researched and that we've priced together, we are spending probably $250 to $300 more doing it this way. Not that economical, but PEX is going to last a long goddamn time versus rubber tubing and tape. So we're going to do the vegetable side of the field in this. Basically let it run. I've got a 2-zone water controller that you use on sprinklers down there. I think that's an Eden. So it's just mechanical, AA batteries, that kind of thing. We'll have to keep an eye on the batteries. But that will water it automatically, switching between each set of 8 lanes. Now in the future, we're looking at the corn side and how to do that. For this year, we are probably just going to do a 3-zone controller, and I'm just going to run 1 hose over to that side, build a drip tape on 8 lanes, and test it and see what happens. They're also going to find out if that's going to be economical more than the PEX. Now, with the economy being the way it is, yes, PEX is through the roof, commodities are through the roof. Finding PEX fittings was a pain in the ass. So we're going to go the over-engineered route with this, and we're going to go the under-engineered route that generally I've seen pretty much everybody else goes with. So based on the 9 gallons a minute that we're putting out from the water spigot on the side of the house, 250 feet down there, with my dumb Marine infantryman calculations, we're pushing soaker hoses half a gallon a minute, which basically is 400 gallons an hour. It's a half a gallon per foot per hour. So in an hour, we're doing 400 gallons on 800 feet. Go ahead, slam me, hit me in the comments, destroy me. I figured this out. It's probably jacked up when I'm saying it, but when I did the calculations, it came out we had just enough water to run 8 lanes. Could run 9. I decided to go 8 for safe, just to make sure we're maintaining pressure across all runs. Finish the second hose. I'll show it to you real quick, and then I'll go down to the field and show it to you on the ground actually hooked up. This is the end. So basically the only connections you have is a PEX T on the ends, a 5/8 to 1/2 inch reducer going from 1/2 inch PEX to 5/8 garden hose, and a 5/8 male garden hose mender. That just repeats into each row of the irrigation system, over and over to the middle. Now I'm using T's in the middle. Past that first one, there's T's, so it goes left, right, down the lane. This is the exception. This is the feed line, so the input from the from the sprinkler system controller. So I've got a T, everything's crimped, running back to again a 5/8 to 1/2 inch reducer, again 1/2 inch PEX, 5/8 hose. I got about 30 feet on that. That's going to run up the uphill to the actual sprinkler, and then it continues down the rest of the hose for the rest of the half. That's the end. That is it. That is as simple as we try to keep it, with getting a minimalistic amount of parts. I understand I could have run 1 lane, just put the hose at the end and shot it downhill. What I was going for with this was we put the hose in the middle, or the feed line, make sure it was in the middle, make sure that we had equalized pressure going across the system as much as possible within the budget. So now I'll take you down to the field and show you what's going on down there. Side note before I head down to the field, in case you were wondering, that's how it rolls up. All right, guys, so end product. That's the end of the line running down. Here we've got the main. Now, originally I had planned to put this in the middle of both runs. As you can see right here, there's the split between both 8-lane runs. I just said, screw it. We're only using 2 legs on that bottom row right now anyway. So these two right here. The rest of everything is the 70-day corn, which is pretty much gone. And that row right there in the middle doesn't have anything growing right there. So we're just going to kibosh that. We cap the ends. I'll touch on that in a second. But our main manifold feeding off of the sprinkler. We got it set up for the time in the morning. Feeds into this line. All 8 will run simultaneously. 7. We did take one off of here because that was a non-growth row as well. But full 100 feet, and it waters completely down. We're getting about an inch for a half an hour of watering, so I might have to take the pressure restrictors out of those. Leg 2 is on right now, or zone 2. Again, that's just these two. So there's a lot more pressure in this system. It's actually pushing out of the hose clamps. I got to tighten those up a little bit, a little more refinement. But that is 2 8-lane systems, 2 8-lane zones, I should say, running 100 feet on the vegetable side. Now, if you come over here, we still got all the corn. We just ran the hiller through it, piled up some dirt around them, so we try and give them a little more strength. Most of this, if not all, is going to fail. We already know that. We're basically just going to test it out with a different watering system and see if we can actually bring some of it back or improve its life. So, we've been out here since about 8:30 this morning. So it's now 2:30. Sounds like a good day to me. We're gonna go hydrate. Mark's got a hour-long drive home from the farm. So he's actually over there messing with the trailer and moving it with his tractor. But I think the benefit of doing this system is you can cap, uncap ends, modulate where you're putting water, add pressure, decrease pressure, depending how many lanes you're actually running. On the 2-lane system, it's pushing a lot of water, so it's probably doing closer to, getting that 6-inch mark in a half an hour. We got to test that out, which is why I got running right now. We'll also test it out in the morning when it's not the hottest. But for now, I got it set to shoot at 5 a.m. But yeah, so just like right here, we're not using lanes. There's no reason to turn that water on. Yes, it's pulling out. That's because of the pressure in the hose clamp. So I gotta refine that one. But other than that, it gives you the flexibility of if you're not growing something versus you are growing something, you can turn water into different directions, that kind of thing. So we've obviously got to get a little more drip hose. But for this system that right now is running 8 legs on 100 feet, we do have the pressure restrictors, which limits it to 20 psi passing into the 1/4-inch hose from the 5/8 hose. We might take those out because we're pushing so many lines. It might need the pressure to equalize 20 psi across them all, but we'll see. So for now, that's going to do it for today. Y'all have a good one.